Hey there, you found Cameras and Car Seats, the podcast for photographers who are tired of being told to hustle harder while trying to remember if you grabbed diapers at your last Target run. I'm Jamie, your destination adventure elopement photographer who somehow manages to adventure with couples while raising tiny humans.
And I'm Alex, holding down the Lincoln logs in the Midwest traditional wedding scene, proving you can crush those weekend weddings and still make it to family dinner. If you're editing in the pickup line, scheduling client calls during nap time, or just trying to figure out how to run a profitable photography business without sacrificing your family life, you're in the right place. We're dropping real, actionable advice that actually works for mom photographers.
No bro marketing, no toxic hustle culture, just two photographer moms keeping it real about making this whole business thing work while raising our families. So grab your watered down iced coffee.
Ignore that pile of laundry for another hour or day.
And let's dive into today's episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to today's show. So today we are actually going to do an episode talking about loneliness as a mom in the industry and everything that entails, because I know that we've all felt it. I know that we've personally felt it. And we just let's just break the ice, because I know everybody goes through this at least one point in their career, let alone just life, or entering just motherhood.
Yeah, and not only that, but I think specifically through this time of year when you're in off season, like in the winter time, I think it can be really easy to be like, okay, we hustled so hard all year and we did all these things. Now we want to take a break. But then sometimes I feel like we go into this dormant mode of wanting to take a break, and then we isolate ourselves unintentionally.
Because I'm just the last 2 days. So for context, if you are new to our show, we both live in Iowa. So for the last 2 days, it has been above 50 degrees. And our bodies are just spring. Oh my God, is it time? Do we need to start cleaning? And I have just been in the best mood for the last 48 hours. And I'm like, shit, it's going to snow.
I'm waiting for it because Iowa has that false spring all the time.
Yes.
Where it's okay, it's supposed to be winter, and then it's going to be warm out, and then it's going to be cold, and it's going to be warm out. It's it's so moody.
So it's between the weather, seasonal depression, it's slow season in work. It's also just been so weird, honestly, across the board, whether you're a wedding photographer, newborn, family photographer. It has been so weird to get back to quote unquote busy season because of 2020. And it is just, I felt like it's been even more of a struggle because so many things have changed and shifted. And it's what friendships are meant to be, what friendships aren't meant to be. And it's how do you find your people? How do you find your village? How do you find your village in motherhood, let alone photography?
Well, I feel as a photographer too, it's whiplash, because not only do you go from okay, these are my seasons that I work and these are my seasons that I have off. It's that you're working all year, and then busy season, the fall, is right before winter. So it's slow-ish, normal, consistent, super busy, done.
Yeah.
So you're wait a minute, what's going on?
And also holidays.
Yep.
So some people have the holiday trauma. Some people have I have to get together with this. I have to do these things. And I feel there's just so much that bubbles up, and you're okay, I just want to talk to someone.
Yeah. And not even about business even. I just want to have a connection with an adult.
Right.
That's not my toddler. That's an actual conversation instead of hey, can you get me a snack?
Right. Well, and my children won't even go get me a snack. They'll just be nah, I don't want to do that. Yeah. It's sorry, mama. And I was I'm finally realizing, I was thinking about this the other day, because my mom would always be hey, can you come upstairs? And I do. And then she'd be can you fill up my water?
Classic.
And I'm yeah, I guess, but then I drink out of it. But and I think about our friend group now, and we've been hanging out for years now, and I'm just where would we be if we didn't have that? And I know that some photographers listening right now, if you're listening, you're I don't have that. I literally feel completely alone.
Right. Well, and that's why, if you've been listening too, that's why Jamie and I started the podcast to begin with, because we'd have so many relatable mom conversations about mom life and business life, and even just life as an adult woman, just all the spectrum of conversation. And we Voxer each other all the time. If anybody knows what Voxer is, walkie-talkie app. But we would
Why don't you just call each other? Ew.
Because ew.
it's time to call each other. When I Voxer you, I can just talk to you and then pick it back up in 2 minutes after I go pee.
Exactly.
Or while I'm going. It's fine.
Right. And so we were having these conversations, and it was like, okay, if we're having these conversations, but then we were having these conversations with other friends that we have in the industry too. And it's like, people need to hear this. And when you don't have, even if you don't have somebody to like vent to, it makes such a difference. Like having the friends that you need to have to just get out how you feel about things. And like, it just helps so much.
Well, and plus, like, I'm one of those people that when I am mad about something that's just not working, I have to step away. I have to step away for like 24 hours. I just need a minute to sit in my feelings and cry a little bit.
Yeah.
And then I come back and it's like, okay, this is my problem. Help me see the problem. And then it's like, it's so funny because like we start to workshop it, and then you and like Nicole, like one of our other photographers, will start to say something. And it's like we're all in different industries of the photography world, like you're with traditional weddings. My friend Nicole is family photographer, and she's like, well, have you tried this or this? Or she's like, I know I'm not in this space, but what if we tried this? And I'm like, okay, cool.
Well, it helps to get perspectives of people that aren't in the direct industry, or how we've talked about before, sometimes you're too close to your own genius, and you just need, like, you know, the answers, you have the answers, but when we look at our own stuff, we're way too like, I don't know, I can't see it. You know, you need that outside perspective to be like, actually, have you tried this? And you're like, oh, duh.
And it feels so good to just banter with someone that gets it because they're a photographer, but two, also someone that gets it when you are in the parenting. Like
100%.
the fact that my toddler's trying to break in here as we're recording. It's fine.
It's just like, it's fine. It's how it's mom life.
And I'm like, we are trying to have these adult conversations while still taking care of our families. But then it's like, I want to be me. I want to be an amazing photographer. I want to be an amazing mom. And it is so important to reach out to people and not be like, I can do it by myself. Like, don't try to do it by yourself. I understand the struggle of like, well, nobody likes me, so I'm just gonna do it by myself. But like, if you try to find good people.
Yes. I think, okay, I know Facebook is a little outdated, right? I mean,
Facebook is for the boomers. No.
The one thing about Facebook that I feel like is still so good and relevant are the groups.
I love
the groups
Facebook
on
groups.
Facebook. Okay. And I think if you go into a Facebook group and find local photographers near you and try to set up meetups, like that's a first step. Like if you're like, I have no idea where to start, I don't know who to reach out to, like I think Facebook groups are so good for that.
Well, and that's the only reason I'm on Facebook anymore is legit the Facebook groups that we have. Cedar Valley photographers, Des Moines photographers, weddings and wanderloss. I did not say that word right, but it's fine. Moving on. But like, there's also like other podcasts have their own Facebook groups, and like there's like niches for like New England wedding photographers, Midwest photographers, and like. We all know there's a million Facebook groups. Some of them are meaner than others, but some of them like are pretty great.
Yes. Yeah. And I think just even posting like, hey, a little bit about you. Like, I'm a mom, I'm a photographer, and I'm looking to connect with people. Like getting out of the house and getting a cup of coffee with somebody for an hour literally will change your like mental state.
I think the scariest part is asking for help. The scariest part is just like, I feel really alone. I really just need a friend. And whether it's talking about surface level stuff for so many times before you actually start to get deep, that's fine. That's how you make friends anyway. You can't. It's speed dating.
We all know how moms make friends is when you get together with a group of moms. I don't care how long you've known each other. I don't care if you met each other off of the street.
I know where this is going.
It's birth stories. Every mom loves to share their birth story.
As we were literally talking about all of ours this morning there was what, 5 of us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's 5 of us.
We got together this morning for coffee at our friend Nicole's house.
It always gets brought up.
And we didn't even talk about photography, I don't think. I think we talked mostly about, we had some of our kids there.
Yeah.
And then we talked about birth stories.
Yeah. And just horror stories with
and just
doctors.
Random stuff.
Well,
and even that like fills your cup.
It does though, because I'm just like, I left feeling like I left feeling fulfilled and empty at the same time. Like, you know, when you're just like so frazzled, but then like you just kind of like you're able to let all of that go and you're like, okay, my shoulders.
Yes.
I feel better because I've had a moment of connection, which everybody knows that's all humans want.
Yes.
We're in photography. We are in the business of connection and feelings and emotions, and like it feels good to meet up with people.
It does. It really does. And I don't think that talking to people just on socials cuts it.
No.
Like sometimes that is nice to like message people on Instagram or Threads, loving Threads.
I am loving Threads right now.
I've made the best connections on Threads that I've ever made in my business just in the last like week. But
Also, it's so funny when people don't realize like it's us commenting to each
Oh,
other on
it's
Threads
so
on our
funny.
separate like photo accounts.
or sometimes I'll be on one account and think I'm on the other one and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh crap, nope, delete.
It's fine. It usually still applies.
It usually, except when I accidentally was on the CC Threads, made a post on it, and then went to go to mine and commented on that post, but then I was commenting as the same.
That's great.
So
Actually,
I deleted
must have
it.
missed that.
I deleted it.
But no, literally our point, I know this episode is probably going to be a little bit shorter, and I know it's hard to make friends, and maybe it's tough love. Like, we all suck at making friends in one way or another. Like, literally, my go-to line is asking people if they like cheese. I don't know. It's like a nervous tick of mine now. I know it's from She's the Man. Yeah, the movie, that one movie.
Yep.
But like, I break the ice somehow. Like, how old are your kids? How did you meet your spouse? It's speed dating to make friends, but then like I feel like you find out really quickly who's in your corner, who wants something from you, and who you can count on. And it's like sometimes you get burned, and that's friends,
Yeah.
especially in your adulthood. But like, don't give up.
It's okay to have friends too that are like surface level friends. And
Yeah.
I don't mean that in a bad way at all. I think I've had to learn over time. Like there are friends that I have that are like my super close friends. And then there's friends that you have that you fill that social cup, but you also have like a little bit of a boundary with too.
I think that's why I've gotten comfortable using the term peers in the industry
Yes.
or acquaintances, because it's not mean to say that not everyone is your friend. Like, not everyone is my friend. I know them and we are friendly. They are my peer in the industry, but they don't know my deepest, darkest scaries. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what that might be at the moment. But
I got you.
I mean, I don't always wash my hair. No, that's surface level. But like, you know what I mean? Like, just meeting up at those groups. Like, I feel like for the most part, a lot of groups try to put on events. Some of them are paid. Some of them are free. Just start going to them. And like, even if you sit in the corner and don't say anything the first couple of times, there's usually going to be an extrovert like me that's like, hi.
Yeah. Well, and I think generally overall, a lot of photographers, especially if you're wedding photographers, are decent at being outgoing because how many first dates basically do you have to go on with, with your clients? Like you're having consults, you're meeting up with random people to take their picture. Like you have to, at some capacity, be better at socializing than you think you are.
Well, and like, no matter how introverted you think you are, like, you got to pull it out of your ass every once in a while. Like, if you can do it at a wedding reception, I believe that you can do it at a coffee date with other photographers.
Exactly. Well, okay. So I think the other portion of the loneliness factor too is not even just being social with other people. And I think that's so important. But I also think we needed to have a minute of like, when you're feeling lonely, I think it's a lot of it is because people feel like they're the only ones out there that feel a certain way. And I don't think that's true. Like, that's why we started this podcast to begin with, right? Because we're like, no, like moms running businesses, it's tough. It's hard. And what you're thinking and what you're feeling and the struggles you're going through are valid.
And the mental load, like, we get it. I'm like right now as you're talking, I was like, shit, is the laundry done? Because I'm doing laundry right now, and I'm like, okay, laundry, dishes. What are we having for dinner? We have preschool tomorrow. My dad's coming over. Like the mental load of motherhood, the mental load of, oh crap, did I get an inquiry? Did I respond to that inquiry? Did my new workflow that I just is it running? And like, it's like exciting, but it's like nerve wracking. And then you're like, oh, my husband called.
Your brain's on overload all the time. And then not only that, but I know we're both also always like, okay, what's the next thing we can do? What's the next thing we can build? How else can we grow?
Bad at this,
like,
guys.
My one thing that like has been pointed out to me this year that I need to really is like celebrating all my wins and like being okay and not continuously raising the bar.
Like, sit down. This is amazing. Enjoy it. And not going,
But yeah,
but now I want to do this.
We could do, it should be,
because like literally this morning, you guys will love this. I don't know. Give us some feedback. We were like, we need sweatshirts.
be so fun.
And we're
so
like,
fun.
Okay, we are about to celebrate that we have 2,000 downloads, and we're already now talking about the next thing.
Literally.
Like, okay, Jamie. Okay, Alex.
Take a breath.
To the breath. So like, you're not experiencing this alone. You're not going through your struggles of business alone. Chances are we've experienced it. Chances are the photographer down the street from you has experienced it in some way or another, whether they're even a parent or not. There's so many times where I have felt so alone and just like nobody likes me, like nobody's there for me. They can't relate to me, and they probably can. It's just,
Nobody's
feel like
talking about it.
in a way, I feel like it's our brains trying to protect us because it's like, this is new and scary. Don't do that. And it's like pushing past your own brain, your own, what am I trying to say? Your mental block in a way.
Well, and because nobody's out there talking about it, we feel like we're alone in it. When in reality, it just needs to be talked about.
Right.
Like, yes, Jamie and I go through times in our business where we're like, wow, we suck. Like, nobody wants to
Monday,
book us.
I think Monday, all I did was cry. And then today I'm just like, let's go.
Literally. It also depends on where we are in our cycles, but that's irrelevant.
Yeah. It's not irrelevant though. Do you know how many?
It's not irrelevant. I just like to ignore it.
Like, it's a real thing. Anyway.
It is a real thing. Maybe we should talk about that at some point. But I just feel like it makes it so much harder when we feel like we're alone in something and we're not, and it just needs to be talked about. And that's why we're here. That's why we started it. And if you ever feel that way and you feel like you need those people to talk to or you need anything, like, we have a Facebook group. Yep. You can also DM us. Like, we are no judgment. Like, if you just need to like get a vent off your chest and then you're like, okay, good, thanks, I'm fine now, bye. Like, that's fine.
If you ever feel like you're drowning in your laundry mountain, your dishes, or that you haven't vacuumed in 48 hours, trust us, we're there. It's fine.
Yep.
You
100%.
you don't want to see my house right now. That's why I'm doing laundry at my parents'. No, we get it. We've been there, and I know this is just like starting the conversation. But it's a good little sound bite, little episode to just be like, hey, we're here for you.
Whatever season you are in or your kid is in, it will change, it will evolve, it will grow, and like they'll grow out of it. It'll all come together. It just feels lonely, but it doesn't have to be.
What's that? There's like a saying that's like, the best news is this doesn't last forever. Mm-hmm. And like the worst news is this doesn't last forever.
Exactly.
But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this just like little short, punchy episode. And if you guys have questions, if you're feeling a certain way, I really encourage you, send us a DM like right now, because one, it makes our day, because we really
literally
do
message
enjoy
each other.
these.
We're like, hey, did you see that message on the Instagram account?
Yeah. No, it like if you're ever feeling a certain way, send us a message. We got you.
We got you.
All right. Well, we will see you on the next week's episode.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, before you go, we have a fun announcement that our Mom Talk Mastermind is now officially live. So if you have not taken a chance to look at the details of that, it is a 6-week-long program where Jamie and I deep dive into your business, and you need to act quick because there are only a few spots left. We're only taking 10 photographers, so that way we can be intentional about the time that we spend with each of you in your business with your personal struggles. So you can find the link to that in the show notes or go to camerasandcarseats.com/mastermind for more details.